What is good, y'all? What is good? It is I, Daryl, and my brother from another mother from the North, Mark. Mark, what is going on with you, man? How are you doing?
Daryl, I'm doing pretty darn good today, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's it was piss pouring rain in Toronto all day yesterday,
Wow.
and they were calling for it again today. But the sun actually came out about 30 minutes ago. So we're late September. This is my personal favorite time of the year. Actually, I love when you can just kind of throw on a little jacket,
Mm-hmm.
or a hoodie, and we're 3 weeks into football now. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, besides the rain, man, I personally love this time of year. I enjoy this time of year, and yeah, man, it's been a minute, but we're back on to talk some crypto today,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, looking forward to it. How you doing? How's everything with you?
Man, I cannot complain, man. I cannot complain. It's been a long time coming. This summer, to me, Mark, has been an eventful one, right? Everybody, you specifically knew the personal things I was going through with the family and so forth. Did have made a move from Texas to California, try to get some things get off the ground, but what I knew, Mark, is I knew, and what's most important is you have to take care of self first. And this summer, I found myself trying to be very busy to kind of avoid the issue at hand. But I was also very distracted. And in doing so, it caused me to kind of miss the mark with a lot of things. And so it took me some time just to, hey, get away. Let me make sure, first and foremost, that I was mentally healthy, right? Let me do that first. Let me make sure that my health is right, that my mind is set, and I had to do some soul searching within myself, man. And I'm just in a very good spot right now, a really good spot. Football is back. We've got basketball about to pop off, man. So sports is at an all time high for me right now. You know, I love me some round ball. Um,
Oh, easy.
We've been off for quite some time, but we have, over the summer and even a couple of weeks ago, we've talked about sports and crypto. And we wanted to get back on track. I never want to lose that contact with you, man. I think we do pretty good together. And so
Absolutely.
I am happy. I am happy that we are back up and running. I think we can be in a position now to where we could really, really explore the market and see what's going on. So we are talking about crypto, man. You ready to talk about this again?
Of course, man. This is a daily thing, man. This is something that we live and breathe, or I know I do anyway. So I'm happy we're back on and talking and sharing ideas and information and lots going on, like you said, man. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, man. So we know that we've got some things happening right now. Um, Most importantly, Bitcoin. We are seeing huge, huge drops right now. Huge drops. The market is kind of all over the place. I mean, right now, I know, say at the beginning of the summer, we were talking about how Bitcoin could get probably as low as 20,000, right? We were talking about a bottom of 20,000. And the market never did that at all. It never did that for whatever reason. And so now we see right now, currently, I know that your dollar amount is different than mine, but Bitcoin now is $43,890. What do you got it for euros? Or not euros? What's your currency again, Mark? I always call it euros. I think you're on mute, sir.
My bad. Apologies. Um, our money in Canada, it's a joke. It's kind of a running joke. It's like Monopoly money, Daryl. We have like $50 red bills and $100 brown bills. So we're in the Canadian currency. And right now, what are we at right now? It's 55,600. So just a little under 56,000 right now.
Right.
So yeah, so that's where we're sitting right now. So yeah, I did have a little dip in the last week or so. But again, if you look at the beginning of this year, it's still up almost, 17,000 or 15,000 or whatever it is from January 1st. So if we look at it within the last 2 weeks, it's down, yes. But again, I think in the last year or so, it's up over like 200 and something percent still. So yeah, just sort of the ebbs and flows, Daryl. And we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about it. We're just trying to kind of work out, where is it, who's involved, why are people getting involved now? And I think every day that the dollar continues to depreciate, people look to sort of put their wealth and their assets into something that's kind of hard and tangible, and something that is not going to sort of depreciate, and these type of things. So yeah, man, I think people are just continuing to um, have their eyes open, figure out what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and like everything, Daryl, it's gradually and then it's suddenly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Everybody will be on it sooner or later. So yeah, man, lots to talk about. So what do
Okay.
you want to get at first, here, brother?
Yeah, so let's talk about the Bitcoin dip we see. Now, usually, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, Mark, there are things that happen in the market, and the market itself is very reactive, right? We know that people trade kind of blindly, they invest kind of blindly. You follow somebody who knows the market very well, and then from there, you either decide to either what we call in gambling tail or fade, right? It's a lot more tailing in crypto in stocks, and what we mean by tail, this verbiage is from gambling, but tailing is you're following somebody, you're behind them. When you fade them, catch this fade, man. That means you're not rocking with them at all. You fading them, man. You don't really care what they have to say. They're gonna give you some advice, and
They're
I,
on the other
either I'm
side,
gonna
going against you. They're
yeah,
going
yeah,
against you.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
man. You faded them, man. You don't want none of that smoke at all. You don't care less. So what you see happening in the crypto market is just that. You have some really smart, knowledgeable people who will give out information and tell you, and it's just really up to you to either follow that advice or not follow it at all. And what ends up happening is because the market is really governed by the limbic system of the brain, if you ask me, right? It's the fight or flight reaction. People will invest, and when that market starts to crash, they will pull their money out, which makes the dip go even further down. And the same thing for when the market starts to go up. They decide to put more money into it. So you have a volatile market and a risky market. These are, and I don't want to intertwine the two. Volatility and risk are two different things. Even though they go hand in hand, they are very, very much so different. So this is what I think we're seeing happening with the crypto space right now. We had Japan or China go hard after the miners, right? Which put a lot of fear or that flight complex into a lot of people where they pulled out. We've also seen as near as the 27th, I believe, there's some votes to be that there's some bills or something that's supposed to be voted on the 27th to determine what's going to happen with the crypto market. Well, this could force a lot of people to panic, and when people panic, they want to pull their money out because they've probably done one of two things. They've invested more than they needed to invest, right? They've invested more than they could afford to lose, or the money that they do have, they don't want to lose it at all. So this is what you're seeing happening with the market now, specifically Bitcoin, along with other currencies we'll get into, but we're going to talk about Bitcoin the most and Cardano because these two are heavy. So with Bitcoin, you see some things happening right now to where even you can even say even as far back as last year, COVID made the market kind of panic. So this is why you're seeing a dip right now. This is why you're seeing people try to prepare for a possible drop in the market, even though we're looking at the Bitcoin anticipated to be 100,000 to 200,000 this year. So what are you seeing, Mark?
Yeah, I think you made a really good point, Daryl, and I'll touch on that first, regarding the sort of the panic selling, and I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And you talked about it's the fear, and really these panic selling sort of stem from fear rather
Mm-hmm.
than a reasonable sort of analysis,
Mm-hmm.
why it's causing the drop price. So just to go back a few minutes where you sort of made that comparison about sort of tailing and fading. In your tailing, it's kind of the same idea. You're trusting into somebody else that they've done the
Mm-hmm.
research. Whether you choose not to do it on your own, or you don't have the time, or whatever the reason is, you kind of follow somebody and you follow them for a little bit, let's say, and you they seem trustworthy and
Mm-hmm.
their plays kind of hit, if you will, right? So it's like I can kind of trust that, right, type of thing. So it's the same sort of idea with this, with the crypto market, and the same sort of idea. COVID is a perfect example of the panic selling. Why COVID? Because literally shut everything down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have stocks in in airlines, let's say, Daryl, or oil rigs, or shit, name anything really. When they shut down the world literally in March 2020, everyone got scared, of course, right? They shut down this, planes are not going,
Right.
products and services are not moving. So if you have any of your investments tied up in any of those, you're gonna be like, well, shit, this thing's gonna get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get out,
Mm-hmm.
minimize our losses, like you said, Daryl, and fight to live another day. Um, so I think that sort of widespread um, fear and something like COVID um, affects everything.
Right.
So that was the last kind of big one that happened there. And these type of things, as you know, there's kind of like these black swan events, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what's a black swan events? These are these unpredictable events, right? That can kind of go beyond what would normally happen in kind of a situation. So
Right.
as much as anybody's kind of tuned into whatever's going on, I don't think anybody could really have predicted the COVID thing, right?
Right.
Everything suffered from that, right? So fiat cash went down, and I think that's really when crypto started to jump again,
Mm-hmm.
right? I gave those few examples of, like, if you're invested in airlines, right? Oil. I mean, insert any service or product there essentially got shut down. So how is money still moving? How are we making money if airlines are shut down? We can travel. All these things are happening. So fear, right? Fear makes people do crazy things. So with that, people, they want to get out. Like you said, maybe they've had their limit of, I can't afford to lose any more money. I'm
Mm-hmm.
making a little small profit, so I might jump out right now. So these type of events are kind of happening all the time, right? With these panic selling stuff. So, people overreact, and they try to prevent further losses, as you sort of touched on, right? But due to these kind of large number of people doing this, right? Because remember, Daryl, in any as much as suffering one thing, other people are still benefiting. So while the whole world is suffering, people are still benefiting. So
Mm-hmm.
if everyone sells at the same time, I guess is my point, right? Um, to prevent further losses or for whatever reason. Now, if everybody's doing this at once, it pushes the price actually back down lower, right? Which results in more panicking.
Right.
But
Right.
that leads again to the positive feedback loop, right? Because remember, everything is always in movement,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that's how it kind of loops back in as well. So mass people are dumping. Yes, the results are more panic, but eventually, again, right, it continues to move, so it eventually leads back to that positive feedback loop. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like your verbiage, Black Swan events. Mark, touch on that a little bit, or just kind of expound on Black Swan events. I know you kind of grazed on it a little bit, but is there any resources on that, or have you read any books on Black Swan events, or what do you know about that, and how true is it?
yeah, absolutely. So I think the most famous one is actually Talib. So if you've read any of Talib's book, he actually he has a book called The Black Swan, essentially, right? So again, the Black Swan is basically sort of it's an event that's unpredictable and is beyond what it normally expected in a situation that has severe consequences. So for example, say you live in a country that has like hurricanes, typhoons, all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
crazy weather. And your country is known to have these 3 to 5 times a year, let's
Right.
say. They always happen within X month, right? So you can kind of prepare for it. You know
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be terrible, right? Because it's years have shown that it's bad. It blows off roofs, just terrible stuff. It can happen, right? But let's say, so we're ready for that. But then say a storm comes in and it just does absolutely crazy things like Indonesia in 2004, or just something that's sort of beyond that expected what
Mm-hmm.
can happen. So it's the same type of thing. And so these are like events that are so rare, Daryl, that even the possibility of it occurring is like highly unknown. It's not even sort of, you know, into the conversation or into the kind of thought process or something like that, right?
Right.
So these things have catastrophic impacts when they do occur. And the way Talib explains it is that as crazy as it seems and people are not even thinking about it, in hindsight it's looked at as if they were actually predictable, like, oh yeah, actually that could have happened, it's we've had typhoons for 50 years now.
Right.
um, it blew off roofs. I mean, why couldn't it blow this building down? Well, this time it did blow the building down, you know what I mean? So it's these crazy things that we're kind of used to. You've seen them before, but these kind of like super extreme that yes, we've witnessed it, experienced
Mm-hmm.
it, but
Mm-hmm.
we've never grasped, wrapped our head around going that next level of something that can happen. And I think again, the perfect example is like a COVID thing that can happen, right? Nobody could have predicted that,
Nobody.
and here we
Well,
are. We're still in the pandemic, they're calling it, but really pandemics only last 3 to 5 months typically, Daryl. So we're going to be close to 2 years now, right? So I think this Black Swan event is probably something like COVID,
mm-hmm.
that can best be sort of suited for what a Black Swan event is. So like I said, basically these unpredictable events that go beyond the normal expectation typically is described as a Black Swan event.
Right, right. And I like how you said the word, key word there is unpredictable, right? They're unpredictable events that determine basically an unpredictable market, right? The market,
For sure.
if you could predict the market, then there would be no dips. There would, people would know when specifically to buy and hold or hold their money there. They would just keep it there, right?
That's right.
But because the market itself is unpredictable, and like you said earlier, because things come full circle, you don't know. So the best thing you could do at best is guess. Is guess. That's what you have to work around with and know is when the market is going to do what it's going to do, whether that's drop or rise. And if you could catch either or, because people make money when the market drops, then by all means, you're one of those guys who knows how the market works. But for us common folk in gambling, they call us low baggers, right? We don't know much. We just try to determine what the market's going to do, or at least see where the market's going, based upon key factors. So we do see this drop in Bitcoin right now. We've got the numbers there; they were high. I think if it was 50,000 on my end, 51K on my end, then it was probably about 60, 61 in your currency. And so now we're seeing about an almost $10,000 drop. Mark, why don't you think this has hit 20K? You got any
It's
opinion on it or?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't think it's ever going to hit 20K. Actually, I saw something this morning, Daryl, that said it's almost mathematically impossible for Bitcoin to go to zero now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I've heard it, in the last couple months that when it was sort of tinkering around 38 to 40-ish, they still said we're have a better chance, Daryl, of going to 100K than to zero. Now, you're gonna say, well, Sparks, you just said 2 minutes ago that it's unpredictable and anything can happen and
Yeah.
force majeure and fucking Black Swan and all these things, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's why, you know, personal wise, when we speak to people and when we've done this show, Daryl, we always say, don't put your eggs in one basket,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just leave it
Absolutely.
alone. So
Absolutely.
same way you're not going to go dump your whole bankroll on whomever because you got a tip or because of whatever. No, there's still unit metrics that we play by, um, and nothing's a sure shot, obviously, right? We can just get the data and information that's available to us, plug it into algorithms, do what we can do, and then make the
Mm-hmm.
best educated guess. That's all we can do, right? But again, if you're not willing to kind of put in the effort and you're kind of tailing, to
Mm-hmm.
use that word today,
Yes, sir.
and then going all in and emptying your bankroll and doing all these things on that, then with all due respect, you deserve to lose. And that might be hard truth to accept,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the truth. Why? Well, like anything else, what else in life can you put in zero effort and expect 100% ROI?
Thank
And then
you.
when you're don't, you're like, well, that's not life. That
Right.
that doesn't happen. And, anybody, a broke clock is right twice a day.
That's right.
Yeah. So sure, man, we can close our eyes and we can go hit that 10 game parlay maybe, or we can, dump the money into Cardano and it can explode overnight.
Hmm.
But it's methodical. And Daryl, remember, we're still in a new age of this crypto space,
That's
right?
right.
This
That's
hasn't been
right.
around for 100 years. We haven't seen ebbs of 20 years, flows. We haven't seen different
Right.
generations. We haven't seen
Right.
different generations come into it, right? So it's still new. It's still a feeling out process, if you will, right? So um, yeah, so I think that's where it is with the Bitcoin and crypto, and like I said, man, it's if you look at the last month or so, 2 months,
Hmm.
yeah, it could go up and down. But the folks who've been in for years and stuff. I mean, like I said at the beginning, we're still up. I think plus like 15 bands this year
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if you
bro.
got in like 2 weeks ago, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a little volatile and a little sort of up and down.
Yeah.
But man, this I'll just say it quickly before I pass it back there. I just saw Tom Brady the other day saying, "Yeah, man, yeah, I'd love to get paid in Bitcoin if it's available." So,
That's crazy.
like I said, man, slowly
Slowly.
and gradually, and then fucking all at once, man.
Hmm.
And that's where we're heading.
Yeah, I believe that. I was reading an article about some company in South America. You could use Bitcoin to purchase tickets now. So it's a slow, steady process. The thing that you have to understand, and that I've understood about this, is that Bitcoin, if you want to kind of put visuals to it, Bitcoin is like a huge ship, right? A huge ship. And when it's time for it to make a turn, you can't just beeline that and make a sharp turn. It's got to make a gradual turn so that everything on that ship, right, is intact. It's not like a speedboat to where, or a wind sail for that matter, to where you can make these sharp turns. That's what Bitcoin is. Now these shit coins, these are your speedboats, right? These are the markets to where you are just basically in the water with no seatbelt going 100 miles per hour. And they can make these sharp turns. And you're likely, if you don't buckle up and have your seatbelt on, you are likely to have your ass flown off that boat. You know what I'm saying? And that boat needs to turn around and come back and get you if you don't got a life jacket on. So this is what the shit coins are doing. And the shit coins are essentially trying to turn themselves to a huge carrier, to a huge ship like Bitcoin. So when you see Bitcoin make a drop, you see other coins make a drop. And we have that with our next coin that we've talked about a lot, and that's Cardano. Cardano has taken a drop. Right now, I see it at $2.20, I believe, American money. I've got that. Yeah, $2.22. This got as low as 218. I'd seen some, a couple of weeks ago was under $2. Now, mind you, man, I got into Cardano when it was 88 cents. So, it's projected that it's going to get to the $6 to $8 mark by the end of the year. I still believe that because it's not taking a huge hit. Now, why hasn't it taken a huge hit? I am under the impression that these smaller tokens, to where you don't have to take as much out of your pocket, you can invest in those tokens and leave your money there, right? You are more likely to take out a $46,000 investment that's tanking versus a $2 investment that's tanking, right? So Cardano, it's gone down a little bit, but not to the point to where you see Bitcoin dropping as it is. Even though these two kind of go hand in hand, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. So Cardano, I still believe, is a great coin. I believe there's some news coming out in October and November regarding Cardano. I just seen something about them not merging. See, this is what happens when you're not prepared to give the information. I'm going to stop there there is some big news coming out with Cardano. So do not be afraid with anything that's happening with this coin. I am taking Cardano right now. I'm taking Cardano off the shitcoin list. This is a legit crypto coin. But what do you think is happening with Cardano, if anything at all? Because I know you're just a Bitcoin guy. But what do you see happening with Cardano?
Yeah, first I just want to say, Daryl, I'm a analogy guy myself, and an analogy you just gave about Bitcoin in the boat and rocket. I'm jacking that one. Man. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah, man, I like that one. I'm gonna jack that, but I'll give praises due when I do use that analogy that my boy Daryl is the one who came up with that. So
Bet,
but I
brother.
like that. Cardano, yeah, listen, man, I think these smart contract coins, Daryl, man, I think, like I said, I don't, and I don't want to kind of mislead anybody, but I personally don't have a position on Cardano, so I can't speak to
Mm-hmm.
it from a personal like holding it specifically. Um, but I do have some people at work who have sort of been on, you know, chomping at my ear for the last 6 months talking
Wow.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they know my stance on, the coins I'm invested in. I'm sort of, very bullish on Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
But they're telling me, Mark, man, there's, Cardano. But listen, I think these smart contract coins, Daryl, I think that, by being able to sort of collateralize, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and borrowing that kind of money to anyone that provided any kind of, deposited amount in
Yeah.
a wallet beforehand. These
Yeah.
smart contracts, I think, they're really programmed to send transactions, like a loan, let's say, right, to the borrower,
Right.
um, almost immediately after the wallet receives this type of fund. So again, it's not apples to apples when we're talking Bitcoin, Cardano versus
Right.
Ethereum. They all have their sort of niche, excuse me, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said on this platform, Daryl, that um, you know, uh, not all your eggs in one
Right.
basket,
Right.
and each has a different purpose, right? So, I'll jump into an analogy now too. So you want to turn your TV on, you have, your converter, you have maybe, Apple TV that you want to beam. Every faction of it has its purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can't compare the Apple TV versus, I don't know, something else like that. It's not an apples to apples. They sort of work in conjunction with each other, and I think that's what kind of all these different coins do as well, right? So we know Bitcoin's purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and we know Ethereum's purpose, and Cardano, is the same sort of CEO, if you will, or whatnot, who came from
Ethereum.
Ethereum. So
Right.
right, so he has the knowledge already, and he's kind of wants to branch out, and that's just like anything in life, Daryl. I mean, you start with a phone, people branch off, people take different ideas. The whole cryptocurrency, right? I mean, this was discussed, talked about, trialed, failed
Right.
again,
Right.
failed a
Right.
hundred times from 1973 or 74, I believe, is the year. You know what I mean? This is before I was even born, bro. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
the idea has been there, and like anything, as time and knowledge, as the years pass, come in, you sort of build off of something, right, and make it better and stronger and
Mm-hmm.
faster.
Mm-hmm.
So you asking me, so what do I think about Cardano? I think it has legs, man. And from everything we've talked about, Daryl, and like I, mentioned some coworkers about it as well, and everything I've kind of learned through them. Um, I you, it might be another one of these winners. It might be sticking around in one of these top three, top four. I think where it's kind of sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think it. I don't think it's like you alluded to. Maybe not considered a shitcoin anymore.
Right.
Um, I think this has legs, man. And like I said, these smart contracts, if they do it properly, it could be something of the future to kind of, like I said, help help make transactions a lot smoother and easier and like that, right? So I'll just finish with this about this point here, Daryl. It's not like a Bitcoin in the terms of a store of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more about sort of smart contracts and settling these transactions sort of in light speed over an internet connection, obviously, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know you've been bullish on it, and
I have.
yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a shitcoin either.
Okay.
But again, I'm not going to say go in because I personally am not invested in that, so I don't want to sort of mislead
Yeah,
anybody about
Mark.
that. You know?
Mark, I don't get you, man. I don't get you. You are as stubborn as a bull. But I tell you, I think that's the reason why I got a lot of love for you, brother, because you are not moved by the public at all. At all. We've talked about Cardano a bit, and you've stood firm on, I'm not there yet, Daryl. I'm not there yet. And I gotta respect that, bro. I really do, because I'm not that way. I probably need to be more like you in that regard, because I saw movement very early, and I still like where it's going. And even after everything that's happened with Cardano now, you've stuck to your guns, bro. You're like, Daryl, just not yet. Just not yet. And I gotta appreciate that, bro. I really do, because you are about as stubborn as they come, man, when it comes to jumping on something.
No
Um,
shit, bro.
but yeah, Mark, you have not moved at all with that. And I do see another coin that's happening right now that's making some waves, and that's Solara. Solara is another coin to where how I felt about Cardano July, right? I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me see what's going on with this right now, right? Solara is starting to make those same waves. So this is a third coin that I have in my pocket right now that I haven't pressed the button to really invest in, because it's not about rush factor for me. I don't think a lot of people have FOMO. This is why they go and invest too soon, right? Because they think something's going to happen and they want to get rich quick. Fear of missing out, for that matter. But I am looking at Solara, Mark. This one also with Cardano is having the same type of steam, same type of popularity. Before we close it out, man, I wanted to ask you about Ethereum. Ethereum can't seem to get to that 4,000, 5,000 mark. It's weird how it's just stuck at like between 28 and $3,500. What do you think is going on with Ethereum? Do you think it's kind of hit a wall, or why hasn't this moved as quickly, or why don't you think you've seen such a big jump with Ethereum?
Yeah, I think they had their upgrade a few weeks ago, Daryl, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
might have talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's fully if the implementation was as seamless as they had hoped. Um, the main reason, oh man, I think the main reason is, and it comes down to this, same with all these other coins, is that it's not a fully decentralized cryptocurrency. So what does that mean? That means that there's still this Vitali who's at the top of Ethereum. Him and his team, they still have that control over it, where if they need to dump more money into it, if they need to increase coin circulation, that's still the ability to do that, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Bitcoin, again, it's a set amount. Nobody can go in there and change it, upload it, fix it. The quantity I'm referring to, right? So crypto is
Mm-hmm.
going to be 21 million ever. Um, in Ethereum, I just think that people who are invested in it, yeah, but I don't know if it'll ever sort of skyrocket and break that threshold. Not in the foreseeable future. In my personal opinion, Daryl, is I think that is because of that's that last thing holding it back, is that there's still a human being controlling it
Right.
and can manipulate it if need. Bitcoin, that's never happened, right? Because like I said, it's mathematically programmed where they can't jump in and do it, or else they would have done it already, right? It's been 12 years. Someone would have hacked it. It's been tried um, to try to manipulate it somehow, but they can't do it. So I think that kind of appeal, I know it does to me, where it can't be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum could still be changed, Daryl. Anything on these decentralized, right? So we talked about decentralized coins. If you can go in there and reverse transactions, that means it's not decentralized. That means it's
Gotcha.
centralized still.
Gotcha.
These type of things. And I personally think that that's kind of the last thing holding it back, right? So as much as they say it's decentralized, it's really not decentralized. And I think the really only decentralized one right now coin is Bitcoin still.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
so again, there's still somebody. It's kind of like the owner at a company. It's they can still make a change if they need to make a change, and by having a few individuals as the owners, who can kind of control, like I said, can we increase coins if need be, change supply? Like that's not decentralized, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's centralized. Someone's still controlling that,
Right.
right? So the co-founder of Apple, he basically said like Bitcoin's like a mathematical miracle. I think was his exact quote.
Wow.
It's math, right? We're removing the trust, Daryl. I don't need to trust you that Daryl as a human is going to send me something. No, we're just going to get on our wallet. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
hold it up to the screen like this.
Yeah.
We're going to transfer value through
Yeah.
our wallets, because that's what we're doing, is transferring value, not money. We're transferring value.
There you go. That's good.
So
That's
that
good.
plant in your background, I like that plant. So if I want to say, Daryl, I'm going to transfer value in the form of Bitcoin or something else,
Mm-hmm.
what's the value of it? Is it
Gotcha.
10? We can discuss value. We're just all we're doing with crypto is we're transferring value across an internet connection, bro. That's all we're doing. We're not
That's
transferring
good,
money.
man.
You know what I'm saying? That we're transferring value. So the value is made up of what Mark and Daryl decide is the value.
Right.
Well, I think Mark, give me $20 for the plant. Daryl, I think it's 15, bro. Well, you know what? Give me $12. All right, cool. So I'm gonna send you $12
Mm-hmm.
value for that plant. So we're just
Gotcha.
trading value, bro. That's what we're doing.
I'm still in that, man. I like that analogy as well. It's a better way to kind of visualize how Bitcoin is working. Ah, man, that was interesting. I like how you put
Yeah,
that.
man.
I like how you put that. So we've discussed really Bitcoin, and this is just scratching the surface. Um, I want to do some research, Mark. I am in the middle of an experiment right now. And I keep saying last question, but this really is the last question. Do you think are you personally still investing in Bitcoin, or kind of have you just have all the Bitcoin that you want and you're just letting that kind of fluctuate whether up or down? Or do you still at times just say, hey, here's a couple hundred, here's a couple thousand, I'll put it back in and just get whether it's the I forgot the Shitoshis. You know, you're
Yoshi,
buying
yeah.
you're buying a percentage of a Bitcoin. How is that going for you? Are you still actively purchasing it?
Yeah, I think you just explained exactly what it is, Daryl. That's exactly what we're doing, and I've always explained, here on this platform, but also, in personal life to friends and family, whoever. It's we go dollar cost averaging, and that's how we do it. So I always use the same example, man. If you put $100 a week or a month into your savings account in your bank, do the same for that. So whether it's $100 we dump in, whether it's
Gotcha.
$1,000, whatever it be, always, man. I don't think there can be enough, man. As corny and cliche as that sounds,
Right.
um, that's kind of how much I believe in the value that it'll have, and it goes beyond just kind of value. It's more, human rights and these type of things, right? So, yeah, always stacking sats, as they say,
Stacking
Daryl,
sets.
and you stack sats, man. Just keep adding to it. Like I said, I've never sold one Satoshi, one Bitcoin, nothing. I've never sold. I've
Wow.
never, it's just accumulation for us, right? So, yeah, we continue to buy and stack it away, keep it on the cold wallet, right, secure, and because you know it, you're putting, like I said, $100 into your savings account in the bank, but what's that doing for you? I saw
Right. We've
someone post
talked
on
about
Twitter the
this.
other day. Dude, I saw someone post the other day on Twitter, Daryl. They had from 12 months ago, loaf of bread that they bought last year,
Hmm.
12 months ago, this week, whenever, same loaf of bread, same thing. Cost them $2.60 last year. It cost them $4.20 this year. Let me
Sheesh.
ask you the question. Did they use any different flour, yeast, fucking
Right.
eggs, or anything in the bread? It's the same maker, the same grocery store. So what is this saying? Is the bread costing more money? No. It's that they've increased the circulation of dollar, that your dollar is worth less. So you're paying
Mm-hmm.
more for the same product, fam. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Bet.
So you got to kind of get that concept wrapped around your head and sort of understand what that means, and then understand you're putting money away. On the surface, it sounds great. And in
Mm-hmm.
theory, in our parents' age, they're way back, that theory might have worked, but cash ain't king anymore, brother.
Right. It definitely ain't king,
You know what
man.
I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you're saving, you're putting money, yeah. But if I put $1,000 in, by next year I'm only gonna have $700 of it. So how is that benefiting you? You just lost $300, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With crypto, Bitcoin, I don't lose money ever. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Unless this thing goes to like goes crazy, and I don't think that will happen. So, um, this is the way forward, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way to secure your wealth and assets, I believe, and something that's, like I said, it's mathematically proven that X amount will be sold. Daryl, man, these guys are talking 100,000 by the end of this year. They can go fucking 10 million a coin maybe in 5 years, bro.
Bro.
Like,
Jesus.
man, like when they were concepting this, they said, okay, let's say this thing takes over and is the currency of the world. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to have enough of the amount of money that's circulating in the world. So how much money, fiat, is circulating in the world right now? We don't know. Is it $300 trillion? I don't know. So do a quick math. How much does one Bitcoin have to be worth to equal the amount of cash that's
Mm-hmm.
circulating in the world? You know what I mean? 10 million a coin. Now, man, if you bought a coin for 50,000, then went down to 40,000, and in 5 years it's gonna be worth 10 million, are you gonna be fucking worrying about if it went
Right.
from
If
50
it
to
yeah.
40? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter anymore, right?
Yeah,
So, like I
absolutely.
said, if you like something at a higher price, you asked about when it goes low, what do you do? Well, if I liked it at a higher price, I sure as hell gonna like it when it's a lower price. Then you
Absolutely.
know, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean. So yeah, man. Whether it's $100 there or it's $20, man, that's where 90% of our funds go are is to these sort of assets, not into the bank. The bank's already proven you're going to lose your money. It's not worth it. So why would I keep doing that, right? That's like insanity. Same thing over and over, expecting a different result, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, the bank's not your friend, bro. Let me tell you, if whoever you bank with, if they haven't told you about crypto yet, man, not just Bitcoin, any crypto to be part of your portfolio into your, if they haven't even mentioned it to you, man, get
Hmm.
rid of that man or woman, bro,
Right.
because they're real talk, man. Listen, man, truth comes across as hard, hurtful, sometimes disrespectful. But that's truth, man, and that's the truth. If they haven't mentioned to you, hey, Daryl, man, have you thought about crypto in your portfolio? If
Hmm.
they haven't mentioned that to you, get rid of that person, man,
I
because
believe that, man. I
how
believe
can
that, Mark.
how can the bank not be on board yet, man? Are you guys still that clueless, man?
Hmm.
I know that's not the mo of the bank, because that's kind of against the bank,
It
yeah.
is. That's exactly what it is, Mark. I believe that that crypto is the bank's enemy.
Yeah, man,
So
absolutely.
I believe they're going to do everything in their power to try and make sure that you don't take your fiat money out and invest it in something that they cannot control. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
so yeah, man, that is crazy. Well, Mark, man, it was good. It was good getting a refresher back on track.
Yes,
We
sir.
definitely have to talk again. I keep saying that I want to do a deep dive, and the deep dives cause me to do more research. And I go down this rabbit hole of research. But it's time now. We're getting closer to the end of the year. October is a huge month. November is a huge month. So I believe we are going to be bombarded with information regarding crypto. So I think we need to prepare our listeners, our viewers, for what's about to come down the pipeline, because there is some big things happening. If we are anticipating 100K, then that's got to take off in the next month or so here. So be on the lookout for that. Mark, it was good as always, brother. I
Daryl,
am
likewise, my friend, likewise.
I am hoping that we can get together again at the beginning of the week and talk some more. Who you got today in Thursday Night Football? Are you watching it?
Yeah, man. Actually, I put my play out on Twitter earlier, actually, too. I'm on Houston +8 tonight at home, man. I think they can maybe even win this game outright. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I do like Carolina, but they had a big win against New Orleans last week.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they come back home, I forget off the top of my head who they play again next week. But yeah, man, I already pushed in my play, so I'm carrying Houston tonight +8 is my play. How about
Yeah,
you?
man. I haven't touched anything yet. I can't put, what is it, -8 on Darnold? I mean,
Yeah, no.
that's a lot. But at the same token, they have been playing lights out ball right now. Maybe Darnold's on a mission. We know Tyrod Taylor is hurt, but at the same token, that young kid that they have coming in, man, I think he's a truth as well. He may be pretty good. I don't know his name.
Yeah, Tyler Davis, or I forget his
Yeah,
name, something like
yeah.
that. But yeah, man. I don't know. I look for just Houston, a game plan around them, run the
Mm-hmm.
ball. They have,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ingram on Houston, Philip Lindsay, I think, too, right? So just grind that clock. And
Yeah.
I don't see, I mean, laying points with Carolina and 8 points on the road.
Yeah.
Sam
Eight,
Darnold, no
bro.
thank you. I don't want no parts of that, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'll take my +8, hope for a backdoor cover. But like I said, I think it'll be closer than that, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Well, with that said, Mark, it was good talking to you, brother. We are going to talk again very soon. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, as we are going to be talking a lot about crypto.
yes, sir.
I'll plug you in, Mark. Where can they find you on Twitter, and only Twitter, because you don't get on social media besides Twitter?
No, sir. Find me on Twitter at Pandaman Sparks. That's where you
Pandaman.
can find me. Yes,
And
sir.
you can find me at It's Durrell, ITSDERL, where it's all crypto and sports. That's all we talk about, man. That's all we
That's it,
talk
bro.
about. Mark, I'm working on this experiment, man. So you know I'm an entrepreneur. And I've got multiple facets of income. But I started Instacart, and I'm using Instacart to put money into crypto. Why? Because you can get money right away. Like, you can get paid every minute, every second, and you can put that money right into crypto. So I'm going to see how this works. I'm on day 2 of that, and I'm going to see
Nice.
how this Instacart money can be turned around. So more on that later as well. Mark, you have a good rest of your day. I know you got some things going on today, man. So my heart and head is with you. And until next week, bro, let's do it again.
Appreciate you, Daryl. Let's do this. Let's continue rocking it and bringing some information to the people. Appreciate you, bro.
All right. You take care, brother.
You too.